This week on Campus Update, Brony Bullies. Attack in Kasaab. 1905 Main Street returns. Around the world in 30 seconds. Mr. Huntington Pageant. What's happening in ceramics? And turning your iPhone into a Gameboy.
Greetings, fellow Oilers. It's me, Preston. Everyone else here is sick, so let me anchor. Can you believe it? We start today with a serious story I've been investigating this week. A 9-year-old boy from North Carolina named Grayson Bruce was bullied recently at school for having a My Little Pony backpack and lunchbox. School officially claims that Grayson brought it upon himself by brandishing the aforementioned items and will not be allowed to return to school with any My Little Pony merchandise. Bullying has become a prominent issue of late. A local example is APA's restaging of the Bully Plays that promotes an anti-bullying message to local middle schools. If you're being bullied or know of bullying activity, these are some steps you can take to help the situation.
Basically, being part of the solution and not the problem, not being a bystander, but rather get involved and basically decrease the violence.
The level of bullying here at Huntington Beach High School and the punishment depends on how serious the bullying is. We treat all bullying very seriously. Sometimes it's a disagreement between students. We can get them down here in the office and discuss the issue and agree that there's not going to be any contact with each student, and we can send them back on their way and they're fine. If I determine that that's not possible, that the bullying is going to continue, then I would take the bullying student and move their schedule around. It may involve moving their entire schedule around, having different teachers and maybe staying later. Maybe you have a 0, now I have to take you out of a 0 to avoid any contact with the student you're bullying.
If you see something on campus and you don't feel like you have enough bravery to go up and stop it, you can always report it. Again, it's 100% anonymous.
If it's more serious than that, or if I have already done that and then you continue to bully, then the next endeavor would be to suspend you from school, have a meeting with your parents, and if necessary, have you transferred out of Huntington. We do not keep bullying students or chronically bullying students on campus. The punishment is to remove the bullying student.
There's a petition on the website change.org demanding that schools crack down on bullying, as well as a Facebook page to support Grayson. In global news, situation in Syria took a devastating turn when hundreds of residents of the coastal village Kasaab were forced to flee their homes this week. Christina has the story.
Civilians in Kasaab were forced to flee their homes following attacks led by al-Qaeda-linked groups on March 21, 2014. Turkey allowed hundreds of radical foreign fighters to cross its borders and attack the civilian population. Armenian homes and churches were systematically desecrated and looted by the invaders. Some reports stated that injured extremists were returning to Turkey for medical treatment. On Friday, March 28th, hundreds of activists gathered in front of the Turkish consulate in Los Angeles to protest Turkey's role in the recent attacks. The protest was organized by the Armenian Youth Federation and the Kasaab Educational Association. Protesters urged President Obama to condemn Turkey's actions and demand that Turkey stop aiding the invaders immediately. The protest was paired with a social media campaign to bring attention and awareness to the atrocities taking place in Kasaab, facilitated by the Turkish government. Social media users addressed the Kasaab crisis using the hashtag #SaveKasaab. The campaign began at 12 p.m. on Friday and continued throughout the weekend. The social media campaign found success on Facebook and Twitter as the hashtag continues to trend today. Some high-profile tweets by Kim and Khloe Kardashian, The Game, Travis Barker, and Chris Martin also helped bring light to the campaign in order to raise awareness.
Thanks, Christina. Many of our viewers might not realize that Campus Update has been around in various forms for over 30 years. Now, 4 years after resurrecting Campus Update, MMET is bringing back the other classic HBHS show called 1905 Main Street, named after the address of the school. In this new iteration, musical artists and bands are invited to our TV studio to perform in front of a studio audience, participate in interviews, and field questions from students. Brianna was there to give us a behind-the-scenes look at their next episode.
On March 31st, PhD guitar students came and performed for the MMET pop class. MMET Media filmed it for the 1905 Main Street show. 1905 Main Street is a student-driven variety show. Episodes are soon to be featured on local network Channel 3. Edited and filmed by students, let's take a behind-the-scenes look at all components that make 1905 have such a high-quality standard. Hey Matt, what are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm setting up cameras for the USC performance.
And this is where the directing happens. I'm actually directing 1905 Main Street show this time, and this is where I will scream at freshmen who can't do their job. And who are you?
I'm one of the freshmen Brianna will be yelling at while she's directing.
That is true. Now, Emily, what are you doing for this show?
Oh, I'm assistant of camera safety.
directed and filmed in 1905 Main Street. It's time for it to be editing process into like cheese.
Into one big movie.
Until then, see you back in the studio.
1905 Main Street can be seen on YouTube and will be in regular rotation on local cable television in the coming weeks. But beyond the sunny confines of Orange County, our wacky and fragile world keeps on turning. It's time for another installment of Christians Around the World in 30 Seconds.
Hey Oilers, welcome back to another edition of Around the World in 30 Seconds. 30 seconds on the clock, go. Egyptian court sentences 528 Morsi supporters to death. Over 900 workers have died constructing the 2022 World Cup Stadium. India refuses to allow China to search territorial waters for the Malaysian airplane's airplane. Visa and MasterCard block Russian bank customers. Czech Republic ready to deploy its air forces to protect countries near the Ukraine. Turkey bans YouTube. Kenya uses drones to defend against poachers. Germany stops Vatican-bound cocaine. And solar power is now as cheap as conventional energy in Italy.
Thanks, Christian. Mark your calendars, Oilers. It's almost time for Mr. Huntington Beach Pageant. Let's take a look at what's in store.
Ladies, soon is your opportunity to see some smoking hot dudes doing some crazy and talented things on stage. That's right, anything can happen at the annual Mr. Huntington Beach Pageant in the HBHS Auditorium. Anything from guitar playing, to dancing, to stripping. You won't be sorry you came. The pageant is April 21st at 7 p.m. Save the date.
Come see who gets crowned Mr. Huntington and cheer for your favorite contestant. Yours truly. Do you have a secret desire to get a little dirty? Well, you can satisfy it with one of our most popular classes here at HBHS, ceramics. We went around and talked to students to see what goes on in the ceramics workshop.
Hey, what's up, Oilers? I'm doing lip trap, and this week we're mixing it up. We went to see Mr. Stryker to see how ceramics was doing, and we got a chance to talk to some of the students in the class to see how they liked it.
So what do you think your favorite part about being in the ceramics class is?
That I don't have to use a pencil or paper.
Jill, what are you working on?
My project for the art show. I'm making nesting dolls of Hindu gods and goddesses.
Hindu gods and goddesses. And that's all for today, Oilers. And remember, stay classy.
That's my line.
Technology may move forward, but a true classic never dies. Such is the case with the Nintendo Game Boy, an old childhood craze that seemed to have come back in force. But are there dangers? Christian has the story.
Over the past few months, teenagers everywhere have been reliving their childhood dreams with a new emulator for the iPhone called GBA for iOS. An emulator allows games such as Pokemon, Super Mario, and Zelda to be played on your iOS device. As a result, students have been walking around the hallways without paying very much attention to their surroundings, causing minor collisions and the frustration of other students.
We feel compelled to make it clear to everyone that game emulators are still illegal to download and to use, and are a hefty fine should you get caught with one. We wouldn't want you breaking any laws now, would we? Well, I had a splendid time being your anchor. I hope Addison and Nick and everybody gets better soon. Now, if you excuse me, I have to catch some Pokemon on a legit 3DS. I'm Preston, saying, stay curly, Oilers. Oh, it seems the chloroform is worn off.